Hello everyone, welcome to Draw My Timeline by Bryan Choi, Lena, Vincent and Brendan Vu. With the end of the Civil War became the rise of the Gilded Age from 1870s to 1890s. The era will be characterized by the increased wealth concentrated in major cities and a small elite group of Americans practicing cutthroat business techniques while also seeing a growth in the number of Americans occupying the middle class of the century. Welcome to the Gilded Age. This prosperity was caused when the economy of the United States experienced a jump start from the development of raw material industries such as coal mining and steel production. These would feed into other industries like railroads that would span across the United States and moving goods far and wide to expand the consumer market and stimulate trade, and factories that drastically increased production of goods for consumption by the population through the introduction of machinery that would replace manual labor. Through this expansion of the industry, a new role culture was developed in which individuals would find jobs outside of the homes and start earning wages in both skilled and unskilled industries. The implementation of assembly lines, first introduced by Henry Ford in the production of automobiles, would allow for the flawless integration of these men that hold little to no skills seeking jobs away from home. With the development of factory life, urbanization became a large part of American society, as more and more people inside and outside of the country were drawn into major cities in search of jobs. The rapid expansion of railroads hastened the surge in population, while this would also increase an exponential increase in population, while also bringing about the degradation of living conditions as more and more people packed themselves into the streets and buildings. As factory life and industry continued to grow during this time period, reform movement became inevitable, Thanos, as to prevent the complete domination of industrialists. The birth of unions such as the American Federation of Labor and National Grange were all established to bargain with employers to establish better working conditions as well as more reasonable wages for its workers. And despite the efforts of these groups, they would not gain significant influence into the later progressive era in the 1890s, as the industrialization and lack of government regulation of the economy would allow for wealthy industrialists to continue to charge ahead with little to no restraint. Therefore, the economy and the industries of the United States would fall prey to the likes of industrialists often referred to as the robber barons. Powerful robber barons justified their success and control under the theory of social Darwinism that economic success and prosperity in American society was determined through the quote-unquote survival of the fittest hierarchy. Those who were the most fit to succeed would succeed, and there was no one better to exemplify this than industrial tycoon and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie. So the question is, how does the story of one of America's richest men start? Well, born in Scotland, Carnegie and his parents immigrated to the United States in 1848 and settled in Pennsylvania, where he and his family struggled to make the ends meet. Carnegie took in a job in a cotton factory, earning about $1.2 a week, and he would later take on a job as a telegrapher. Hoping to further his career, he found a job at the Pennsylvania Railroad in 1853 under Thomas Scott, where he learned about the industry and how to do business. 3 years later, he was promoted to superintendent. And this is where his journey begins. During this time, Carnegie learned many tricks and trades of the market, smartly investing his money into many vital industries, including railroad, infrastructure, and oil industries. These investments did pay off, and Carnegie quickly found himself bringing in hefty sums of money. Carnegie eventually left the railroad and began to focus on his own company, known as the Carnegie Steel Company. What was special about this was his use of vertical integration, which meant he wanted to control all aspects of the production, cutting out the middleman and greatly increasing productivity. Through Carnegie's hard work, intelligence, and diligence, Carnegie's company grew at an exponential rate, and in little to no time, his steel plants began to span all across the entire country, making him the most prominent man in not just the steel industry, but the entire country. And shockingly, by 1900, Carnegie was producing 1/4 of United States Bessemer steel. A year later, he sold Carnegie Steel to Wall Street's J.P. Morgan for over $300 million, and with this move, Carnegie surpassed Rockefeller as America's wealthiest person. Hashtag can't relate. With this newfound wealth, Carnegie, rather than just chilling with hundreds of millions of dollars in his bank account, developed himself into an avid philanthropist. He coined the term quote-unquote gospel of wealth, in which he called on the new upper class to take on the responsibility of dealing with wealth inequality through charity. In his eyes, the self-made industrialist had an obligation to give back to society, and Carnegie himself would end up donating more than 90% of his fortune. Of course, that still leaves him with millions of dollars. But that was pretty nice. To this day, Carnegie Hall in New York, Peace Palace, and Carnegie Mellon University serves as modern pieces of Carnegie's legacy. And yeah, that's the life of Carnegie. And Carnegie Mellon. Please laugh, that's supposed to be funny. Or Lena thinks it's funny. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Remember to like and subscribe and comment for more quality content like this one. This is a 20 years of snapshot of Carnegie and his life. And yeah, this is the Gilded Age.